Hey guys, hope you're having a great day today. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday morning to you. I hope that your day is going well. My day is going great because I'm here with you. Got my Maxine. She's under the covers, hidden because it's a little chilly. Mama's got all the windows in the house open. She's like, no, don't do it, Mama. So we are here for 52 weeks. There is a few of you still holding on here, going strong, and I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for sticking through with things because most people do not. So we're going through our entire house this year. If you don't know, we're down to week 44. It's like almost at the end. And so today, what you're going to take care of this week, I don't know how you've been doing through things and, cleaning, organizing, that kind of stuff in your life. But today you're going to be focusing on your floors. You're going to deep clean your carpets and you're going to wash all your floors throughout the entire house. I know it's a lot. It is a lot. I have to do mine as well. We're doing our Christmas decorations right now, technically. So unfortunately, I don't have I do have the forethought and plan for the videos, but I'm doing real life as well. So for me, if I clean all my floors today, we're gonna be moving boxes and going up and downstairs. It's just getting dirty again, so then I have to do it again. So that does not work for me right now. But that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go through and wash all of your floors, everything. I mean, move couches and carpet clean underneath. I'm talking all the corners that you don't even think, move the furniture, get underneath there, find the sticky stuff and all the dust bunnies that you don't even think are there. They're there. And you're gonna clean that really well. Can you do that one time? One time, good. I love to go through my floors and clean like that. One good clean every once in a while and go so much better. When you have more stuff, you have to move more things. When you got less stuff, it's a whole lot easier to do. Have you found that? Less stuff, more life. I did a book on that back in the day. That really truly is a thing. Less stuff, more life. I know as we have kids and we accumulate and you do more things, you just got more stuff. And then as I'm weeding things out more and more, I'm like, okay, when you have less and less, a little bit more breathing room in your days. There is a truth to that there. So today you're gonna focus on your floors. So can you get those floors clean? Carpet clean, use a little hand cleaner on there. Get that floor and wash all those floors from end to end. You got this. And then this whole month for our expanding horizons, we've been doing different things, like different things to kind of stretch us a little bit. Have you been doing that a little bit? A little bit. I know I have to posture. Last week was posture. I was sitting here filming today and I kept thinking, pull myself up. It's good for my posture to sit up tall. What we're going to do for this week, for week 44, we are going to start reading. Read a book. Read a physical book. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do it on your phone, and that's fine too. But give yourself a little bit of a reading challenge. It's kind of getting that cooler weather where you kind of hold up a little bit and you want to just kind of enjoy, being inside. Get a book and read it. Now, maybe you're not a book reader. I am not usually a book reader. Sometimes I'll just get in the moment where I'm like, I want to read a book. I'd like to read a book. And I do. I focus on it. I read and I'm like, wow. And I read through real quick and I'm loving it. But sometimes it's a little bit more of a push. So why don't you challenge yourself by reading a certain amount of pages each day and then read that many pages and get through that book. So what kind of books do you enjoy reading? Does anybody enjoy reading? I can't tell you that I have a great list of books to read. A lot of people have asked me many times over the years, do you have a favorite devotional? Do you have a favorite this? I'm like, I don't. I like read God's word. That's my favorite. I'm thankful for the devotionals I've been given over the years to read through different seasons of my life. And I've read a couple different random books that God just spoke to me through. And I'm like, yeah, really enjoyed reading those. And then I picked up I don't ever usually read like story fiction books that aren't real. Like The Shack, watched that movie this year and then I ended up reading the book and I was like, wow. It was good for that season. For me, at that time in my life, it was good to kind of get me out of, instead of scrolling on a phone, because I needed something to distract me from days in life, because it was busy, adjustments, life, all those things. So it was a good distraction from that things, but I can see how that can be a hindrance if you want to distract your life too much and stop living in the present. You want to just, disillusion way to a book world. And so I haven't over the years gone to many books for things. I've read books with the kids, that kind of stuff, but sometimes you can get so sucked into things and then get in this little reality of what life could be, especially when you read some different fiction books and books that tell stories of how husbands and wives are and the romantic fairy tale of things, and then it can get you in your head of, why don't I have that in my life? Same way as watching YouTube shorts and reels and everything else, and get you in a different mindset on things. And so you got to be careful with what you put your mind in. That's always a good thing. And I know there was a time where I would only read real life books and real life testimonies, just stories that really actually happened, so I can understand and empathize with the person. And that really changed my view and mindset on things to understand. Do you know what I mean? And so it just helped. I read all different kinds of books, and so just keeping that mindset on things. So do you have a good book? put it in the comments, because maybe it'll help some. Maybe do a little synopsis of what the book is about or what kind of it entails. I know the kids and I read through is it Jack Black books? It's not, I don't know. Hold on, let me look before I talk. I had to look it up. I was like, in my head I keep saying Jack Black. Is that the name? No, it's not Jack Black. Jack Black is a worldly person. Chuck Black is his name. And so we had read, I'm going to look it up here. The Kingdoms, it's not the Kingdom series. He's got the Kingdom series. Hold on a second, let me find the name of it. The Wars of the Realm series. And that was very, very good. That's what it looks like on here. If you enjoy Krishki's, there we go. The books were good because they were, I like keeping, like I used to like reading the Frank Peretti books because I like to see the spiritual side of things, of how things work. I think that's a good way to like look at the good and evil and things. And so his books were very much that way, but just a little bit more modern. So my kids and I enjoyed reading them. We read them together and got some good things out of there. And then someone's like, oh, they're so good. They want to keep reading. And you can see that addiction to want to keep reading. So I had to make sure, okay, just read a chapter a day. Read a chapter a day. So set those limits on yourself when you do those. But that was one series I enjoyed doing. I did read The Shack recently. And that to me was, I can see how you had the controversy in the Christian world in it, but I can see how it was written and maybe the intention behind it. And so good way on that. So there's a whole lot. I used to really enjoy reading a lot of the Mennonite books that were written because a lot of them were just real life depictions of things. And so testimony books, love reading people's testimony books, and there's tons of books out there. There's any missionaries and anything, just because when you're done reading the book, it points you to Jesus. It doesn't matter what the book's about. I remember a woman told me, she's like, just read this book. And I'm like, oh, this doesn't have anything to do with my life. Why would I read it? And I read it. But the end of the story, and the story always points you back to Jesus. The testimony isn't about how great their life turned out, how wonderful it was. It was the testimony of God's faithfulness. That's the point of a book. You want it to be able to point you to the Lord. You know, if you read something that doesn't point you to the Lord, it just creates more frustration in your life, don't read it. Don't read it. You want to stay focused on the Lord. So let me know. Got a good book below. Maybe it'll help somebody out. All right, and then this month, for our emotional wellness, we've been reflecting on God's faithfulness through things. And one thing, at the beginning of the month, we talked about our blessing jar. Remember we talked about that? We actually have ours downstairs. And so every day I keep telling the kids, write down something that you're thankful for today. I don't care, something simple, fold it up, put it in there. And so we did that. We've been doing that for a couple days now, sticking them in there. So we'll have a whole big pile for Thanksgiving, which would be really nice to read through and see them all. I like that. So what you're going to do right now, maybe you've done this before. I did this a little bit in the form of a letter. We talked about it a few weeks ago, but it's going to be all about reflecting on the year's growth. Like, I kind of did it in my letter, so I'll explain how I did it. I wrote a letter to myself for next year, and I put in it different things, how I was feeling. I did it how I was feeling physically, like where my weight was, how I was feeling physically, what I could do wise, my emotional part of it, financially, where I'm at financially, and my spiritual part of it, how I was feeling about things and how I was viewing things and how I was viewing God and things like that, and where I was at this point. And so it's good to document those things, because next year is going to roll around and you're going to be able to look back and go, oh wow, look where I'm at right now. And I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have done that way more. There was times I wrote a lot of journals and things over the years, but a lot of it was just more of frustration in a letter to God. My anger, not at God, but just anger with things in my life. And then after I would get through those seasons, I'm like, I don't want to be reminded of the yuck anymore. So I threw them away. I just threw them away. That's me. That's me personally. I still remember becoming a believer, and I grew up and I wrote in diaries. I had all these things, and I was in pageants. I did modeling. I did all this stuff. I had all those pictures and, like trophies and videotapes of me doing pageants and all that stuff. And when I became a believer, like, this is how very blunt I was at the time, where I burned it all. I burned all that stuff. We had a big bonfire because we lived out in the country. You burned it. I remember I had so much stuff, and I thought, and everyone's like, oh my goodness, why would you not want to take that for your kids? Why would you not want to share that with your future kids? And in my head, I was like, that was a part of my life that I'm not proud of. I mean, I wasn't a horrible person, but I was not a Christian. It's like my diaries and things I'm writing about. I'm like, that was nothing that, like, my mind was not with the Lord. It was with, it's being, you're either being influenced by a good thing or a bad thing. So it was being influenced by a bad thing. And so I'm like, why would I want to share that with my kids? Why would I want my kids, they're always like, oh, I would love love to see you in your pageant days. I would love to see you. Mommy, what'd you look like? And I'm like, yeah, but I was not doing it for the right intentions. Not at all. It was not a Christian thing. It was not something that I would strive to want to do. It's not something that I would want to say, hey, this is a great thing to do with your life. I don't think there's anything wrong with modeling and pageants and things like that necessarily, with the right heart and things behind it. But that was not my motive when I was doing it at the time. And so I'm like, why would I want to share that? You know what I mean? It's just not. So they'll see things here and there. I did. I think I have one set of pictures that my mom had given to me that she had, and so I show my kids, you know, I'm like, that was a time, but I'm like, it was not a, like, oh, you need more, but I'm like, that was just not a time in my life that I'm proud of. I'm like, that's not anything I want you guys to remember your mom as. You know what I mean? It's like just not me. So and then as I became a Christian, and I would do things, it's like one of those things where I wish I would have had more keeping of things. Like I wish I would have maybe done the letters and wrote where I was at and kept those. That would have been something good. I can look back on Bibles. Bibles, when I first started really studying God's Word, I've kept my Bibles. And in the back of them, it was interesting because I read it and I wrote a lot of like God's truths. I didn't necessarily put the struggles I was having like at all, like really, or things I was praying for. It was just where, well, God was speaking to me, and they were all good, positive things. Okay, so then life happens. I've switched over Bibles over the years, and then I see other Bibles where I've written in like, prayed this, God spoke to me because of this, you know, hoping for a miracle in this, and just different things. And I'm like, I can see where my mind shifted, and my mind shifted from very blunt and very much, this is what God says, let's do it, to yeah, but this excuses. And so that for me was a good thing to see, because it opened my eyes to, what am I doing? Why am I believing this garbage in my head? And I can see the plan of the enemy to get in there and mess with it. And so for me, myself, that was a good thing to see. So I think that's why journaling would be good, because it does see your growth over the years on things. But, you know, I'm not a keeper on things, so I only keep what's absolutely necessary most of the time. So, but I do have a letter. I have a letter to myself that I put in my file with my tax information papers, so that I know that next year at tax time, and I know I'll do it early, but what I'll do is I'll take it and put it like in my my new planner for next year when I do it, around the time that I want to kind of open it and see where I'm at this year from last year. So that's what you're going to do. Reflect back on things in your life. It's good to look back on things and see where you can need your growth and where you can move ahead in things. And I love doing that. I love sitting and reading through my Bibles and going, wow, look at my mindset. Look at where it was and look at where it is now. Definitely not like it used to be. So I'm like, where did that change? Where did I start viewing life differently? Where did the enemy get in there and start messing up? And it makes you think, okay, I don't want to be that way anymore. Let's not allow that anymore, and do a complete 180. Let's go the other way. So that's what you're going to do. So I'm excited for you. So, all right, that's it for today's video. I'm keeping 52 weeks just for 52 weeks because someone asked me to, and I said I would gladly do that. And then come back in about an hour, we'll do real life for today. So again, I'm proud of you sticking with it, going through consistency. That's not big in the world today. You're consistent. I'm proud of you. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.